We're rolling. Take one, son. All right. This is our first attempt at the Don't Listen to Us podcast, where we're just gonna talk shit about movies and whatever we really want to talk about. It's quarantine time and there's nothing to do. So hey, coming live from our houses. I'm the coach, Rob Moreno. This is my boy.
My name is Brian Belmonte, here to
Uh,
serve.
That's right. Live locations and pretty much, man, we're just here to give some advice to give you some movies that you can watch if you haven't seen them yet, just sitting there at your house. Let's see.
Pretty much,
Actually,
yeah,
mhm.
yeah, this is going to be like our personal opinions about the movies, the ones that we like. We're both nerds and geeks, so pretty much we're going to have our discussion. There's movies that he likes that I hate. There's movies that I love that he hates. So it's going to be like, that squabble between the both of us. I just hope you guys have a fun time. Um, please give us afterwards some feedback. If you love it, great. If you hate it, also great. We appreciate any feedback you can give us to make the podcast better.
Exactly. Well, hey, so I actually have a couple questions for you right off the bat before we do anything, because we're sitting here talking about movies, right? So
Okay.
something I never asked you, even while we were working, was who got you into movies? Like, what got you into movies? Was it an
Okay.
actor? Was it the movies? Was it from comics?
No, actually, I was 6 years old when my older brother took me to the movies to watch Mad Max. So I saw that flick and I
Up
was
to.
just blown away. After watching Mad Max, he took me to watch Conan the Barbarian, Predator, and then Star Wars: the Return of the Jedi.
Oh
So those
shit!
movies
Yeah, and then
marked me for life.
I was actually gonna ask you what was your first theater movie that you just answered, and I was gonna write, and I was gonna write who you went to the first movies with. So I see you already answered my questions there.
Ah,
I
we
was
get
how
to
old was
answer all
I?
three.
Oh, just one bang, just bah. I was what maybe like 6 or 7 as well. My parents took me to go see Ninja Turtle. See, look at the time difference too. You're talking Conan the Barbarian, Predator, and Empire Strikes Back. I went to teenage can't even speak Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the thing was, I used up all my energy before I got in. I got all hyper, ran in circles. I got in. I remember them waiting for the pizza with a joke where he's like, "Oh, 1 minute he's late," and then I fell asleep, woke up, and they're already skateboarding the sewers. So I slept the whole movie, man, the whole movie, and I still loved it. I still loved it. It was the greatest thing. It's like the one thing I remember from growing up and being in theaters and stuff.
You know, the I saw the turtle movie VCR. My dad brought it to us because we were already living in Costa Rica, and so my parents really hardly ever took me out to the theaters. So my dad when he was still in the states, like working, and he would come, go in the summertime to the states, come back during the winter back to Costa Rica, and he'll bring us a bunch of crap. He brought us the toys, the figurine, the Hasbro toys, and then he brought us the video cassette. I was blown away. I was like, what, maybe 12, 13 years old when I saw that movie.
Yeah, imagine that because you saw it years later. I saw the premiere, like in the '90s. Like that was my premiere. Yeah, I remember that. Fucking, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what's your family movie? Like example, you said you already mentioned my family movie, the one that I watched, and I'm talking like I'm like 12, right? I don't know what swear words are. I don't know what anything is. Our family movie is Predator, which is why for me Predator is like the greatest movie of all time. Only because like my jokes, we reference it every day. Every joke that I have, if stuff's going bad, I do the helicopter line of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Where he's like, "It's getting better, better a minute." Like it's just getting worse.
Movies family was sitting around the TV and watching it. And it's like I was
religiously.
Yeah. No one talked. No one made any comments. We were all focused on the TV. Me and my little brother were sitting up front, and my parents were sitting on the back of the couch. And it's just like for 2 hours, no one said anything.
Which one?
There's only one Willow, no?
Oh, Willow! I didn't hear that part. I love Willow.
Willow.
You know what was funny? I watched, what was the movie? No, I went backwards because I watched Batman Forever, found out who Val Kilmer was, then I went back to Top Gun, and then I went to Willow because I started paying attention to George Lucas because by then I was starting to get into Star Wars. So I was already checking who he was. I'm 84, man.
You started late. No, I started. Well, the movies that I mentioned. Then what got me into Redheads was Red Sonja. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. It's the one that marked me. Like, I love that strong, dominant woman. Redheads were like my passion for 10 years after watching that movie. And then another movie that really marked my childhood a lot was Clash of the Titans.
The original?
The original one. When I saw that, I saw that movie, I think I was like, 7, 8, 9 years old, something like that. And I was just blown away by Greek mythology, and I'm seeing these skeletons and this metallic owl and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, kind of like, that stupid, like, oh my God, what have I just walked into?
This is like hilarious to hear because I was actually listening to another podcast where they talk about age difference. You want to know which movie did that for me? Jurassic Park.
I like the graphics. I tried watching the movie and it's like, it's all right. I had fun watching it, but the Jurassic Park. Yeah.
No, like I'm talking
one.
Steven Spielberg, right? Yeah.
That same Spielberg. One. I didn't even go to the theater to watch that movie. I waited until I saw it on TV.
You're crazy. What's wrong with you? It's like an instant classic.
The only impressive thing that movie had that just caught my attention was the dinosaurs. And the effects back in those days were just too impressive. But the movie itself, it didn't tickle me. It just did not tickle me at all. My wife loves it, and she watches it from time to time. I watch like 5-10 minutes of it, and I'm already bored.
You're crazy. You're insane. It's like a family classic, man. It's Jurassic Park. How many movies have they made off this now? 3? There's like 5 of them, and 6 is coming out. Like, what do you mean? It tickled me. It's not supposed to tickle you. It's a dinosaur movie.
It did not tickle me, man. It's just, the story in itself was just, I don't know, I just couldn't like it.
Like, even in the time where you're a kid, you don't really know science and stuff like that. They're like, hey, we took the blood from a mosquito and put it in with a frog. You're like, yeah, that works. You're like, hey, works for me. But no, but didn't tickle. That movie is a classic.
Oh man, it's like the scene where like they're hiding behind the door, and you see like the dinosaurs opening the door. I'm like, since when the fucking dinosaurs have thumb to open fucking doors, man? Come on. I understand the thing with the mosquito and like dinosaurs opening up doors. They should be breaking them down, like scratching them or headbutting them. All savage.
And give it some credit. At least it wasn't like a doorknob where they literally grabbed and twisted the thing. Like, it was just the thing where you could just knock it. It's like when our kids were learning to open the door, they just kind of hit it and push. At least, like, they made some common sense. It's not like the raptor like used his foot and just went, here, I'm gonna open this door and walk right through.
But still, how were they able to even associate, like, oh, I pushed this and this opens? Come on. We're talking about dinosaurs, man. They're animals.
Well, Oh yeah, I get you. They kind of did well. They did make it a little smarter than what I thought they would be. But you would assume if an animal goes through one door every single day, whether he opens it or not, he understands like, okay, this is stopping me from going through. You know what I
But
mean?
exactly, but I mean, weren't they like they made them, they fabricated them, and then they just let them loose in the wild. It's not like they were going through cages or doors or anything like that. I think the only vicious ones were like the T Rex or the other ones that, but those were like in jailhouses, like five five
But
foot walls and reinforced concrete and stuff like that.
but we are getting off topic here. But what I
Oh,
did
my bad.
realize is hey, no, is something we can do for future podcasts, and especially if some of my friends from Canada, some of our friends from Costa Rica, some of your friends from US is if you guys have a movie that we can just shit on or what we want to talk about. As you can see, we disagree on a lot. but
Oh yeah.
but let's see. I want some actual reactions to this. So I did my Sherlock Holmes and went on the internet to steal some other people doing the research and just kind of talk about it for a second. So check this out. As we know, with the COVID-19, there's really everything stopped, and there's no new movies trying really being made. So I tried to look for like upcoming movies, or even sometimes look for like the new trailers coming out. Like what you said, man, I'm just gonna say it like that, man. Nothing's tickling, so I just ignored those. And this is actually what I found. Check this out. So, uh, Kevin Feige has actually been talking with Keanu Reeves to come into the MCU, and what people are saying is that he might be the new Ghost Rider.
I don't see Keanu as a good Ghost Rider.
No,
No. I would like to see Keanu. Let me think about this. Who would I put? Which superhero would I pick Keanu for?
see, I saw like the fan drawings, like they had him as I think it was Neymar. They had him in for the new Black Panther because supposedly he's going to be the bad guy for Black Panther 2. Was Neymar, so they can bring him in.
It's For me. It has to be like a Marvel hero that has to be like between Constantine and John Wick. Someone like that. He'll be perfect for that role. And
But see,
I don't.
this is the thing for me. Uh-huh.
Uh huh.
See, this is the thing for me. He's really only one character. He's Ted. Or is he Bill or is he Ted? No, he's Ted. Like he's one character. So who can Ted play? That's what you need to think about for me. But yeah, as Ghost, I don't mind him as Ghost Rider. After Nicolas Cage, like I don't think you can really do more wrong than that. I didn't like it at all.
Sorry about that. Got the kid running behind me.
Not at all. I'm trying to get him in here, but he's actually ignoring me. Imagine the difference. Yours is like dad, mine's like, hey, hand, get out of here.
Leave me alone.
I'm in I'm in quarantine. That's what he says. He goes to his room. He's like, I'm in quarantine. Leave me alone. I'm like, all right. So yeah, so we'll circle back to Keanu Reeves. You think about who you think he could play, because Neymar
All
doesn't
right.
sound that bad because he's kind of like a no emotion water guy. So, but he's
Yeah.
also I don't know. The thing is, why I know there's always the feud between Marvel and DC, but if they have Aquaman right now, why aren't you gonna try to bring out your own Aquaman? Even though they're both, I don't know which one was made first or which one was put into the comic first, but if you already have that guy, unless he's thinking, okay, this is where we're going to go with the MCU, why bring in Neymar so early?
If they do that, it's because they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four. Because Neymar comes from the Fantastic Four. Remember that he
Yeah, he
falls in
fought
love
them
with.
first.
Yeah, he falls in love with Susan Storm, and he
Yeah.
takes her and he raps her. So maybe the only thing I would think of is for them to introduce Neymar right now. It's because they're thinking of the Fantastic Four movie.
You supposedly, the guy from A Quiet Place, the guy that directed it.
Uh huh.
him and his wife, who is Emily Blunt. I remember the wife. I don't know his name. Fucking, they're supposedly going to be Mr. Fantastic and Susan Storm, and he might direct it. This is a rumor, right?
I hope it's true because honestly, from that movie, A Quiet Place, it just blew me away, and I think they'll make a perfect Mr. Mrs. Fantastic. I think they'll do great because
They
the guy
actually
was
have the chemistry.
exactly the chemistry's there as a couple, and they proved their acting abilities in A Quiet Place. I mean, she was very like physical, outgoing, and the guy was the thinker. He was thinking there trying to come up with the gadget for his daughter's hearing device.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they pick perfect Reed Richards and Susan Storm.
I think to get them earlier and stuff, but they always had what was it? What? How do they say it in a nice way? Scheduling difficulties. Oh, did you hear that? I'm gonna try to say the name right because I always just call him Superman. Henry Cavill, is it? The Witcher.
Uh huh.
He's supposedly already hired to be Wolverine. Now, before you even say anything, me as a Wolverine fanatic, that means I have seen all the movies. I've read as many comics as I can. I in my head, I probably have a Rolodex of thousands of superhero names and faces. No one has ever been better than Wolverine. Now, answer me this: why do the movies need to make Wolverine 6'2"? He's like 5'4". Wolverine should not be looking down on anyone except like Puck. And even then, he's probably like up to his nose. Like he's so small, which is why I liked him so much because I was small as a kid. And all my friends, which are all like white boys, fucking shot up like a beanstalk, and I stayed small except for like one more friend of mine. And then like I was like, all right, that's Wolverine and Puck right there. Like I was just a little bit taller, and everyone else was taller than me. So why do they think they need to make him 6'2"? Like he's got the build, I'll give him that, but he's
It's
huge.
it's because they're not thinking they're thinking about how to make money out of the movie, and they don't think like the superhero has to be this twerp of a guy that has to be looking up. They want someone imposing, strong, some white kid that's like almost 2 meters tall with a buff body, and like okay, no one can mess with me. If you do, I just break your I'll break your nose.
But that's the best thing about Wolverine. He looks up at you and says, "I'm gonna break your nose," and then he breaks your nose. That's what I love about the guy.
But
That's the best part about him.
we see that as the fans, and we're saying like, okay, like when you're kids and you're reading comic books, and you would talk about like, how, if they make a movie about Wolverine or Spider-Man, how would you remember those conversations like we had as
Yeah,
kids?
yeah.
Okay, pretty much that's how we would love to see it because we're fans. We dedicated our time, our money to read the comic books, to learn about the characters. And I mean, Jesus, it's been like what, 30 years, 40 years of us reading these comic books. And when we want to go to watch the movie, we remember our childhood fantasies. Hollywood doesn't see it like that. Hollywood just
Like,
sees, how to make money, how to, all the money they
yeah.
can make out of it with the merchandise and stuff like that. So they're not going to pick a small guy. They want some big guys.
See, this is the thing. I accepted the fact that Wolverine was a 6'5" Australian for the X Men saga with Hugh Jackman. I was like, all right, cool. Now he's like a 6'5" Englishman when he's Canadian. You can't find a Canadian like one, just one. Like, come on. He doesn't have to be Canadian, but like he's everything away from North America. It's like no, he's European now. It's like what? Wolverine is a small Canadian hard ass, and me growing up in Brampton, right? That was one of the other reasons why I'm like he's the best. And the thing was is he even though they didn't try to make him a main character in the cartoon, he was one of the best characters in the whole cartoon. when I was growing up watching the saga on Fox.
It's Wolverine has always been a badass, and that's what people
Yeah,
liked about him. If mistake me if I'm wrong, but he was the first anti-hero that had popped out in comic books.
I would say I'm not 1,000%, but I would say he's one of them because I don't think Deadpool came out later. Maybe
Uh-huh.
Magneto was one of the firsts.
No, because Magneto was like good guy turned bad guy.
You know what we can do? Let's see.
Let's
Let's
Google
ask
it.
Siri. Let's see if Siri knows. Hey Siri, Marvel's first anti-heroes. Let's see if it gives me something. Avengers. All right, Siri sucks. Just to let you know. So you Google
I'll,
it. Now
I'll Google it right
with
now.
this,
One second.
hold on. Exactly. You Google it. Now with this being said, let's segue. Yeah, I actually did it perfectly. Segue to the next thing that I just found out after we talked about yesterday. So Disney Plus was actually they put out these icons for the X-Men series, right? And they're like, "Yo, we're getting an X-Men series." So a lot of people thought that it was just my cartoon growing up, the one that I grew up with in the '90s, like the most badass of badass cartoons. I don't care what you say about that. Like it was gonna come back and be on Disney Plus. But what they're actually saying is because they're all new little icons, that they're probably going to come out with a live action X-Men series. So with me saying this, now check this. This is where I want to just blow your mind. So with this being said, we're gonna have to circle back, right? But with that being said, uh, Captain Marvel 2 was supposedly gonna have Wolverine and Rogue.
Whoa.
Oh yes.
That would have
Which
been
means
freaking awesome.
Rogue can finally take her powers like she's supposed to and put her in that coma. And then Rogue becomes the Rogue that we know, which flies and has super strength and can't touch nobody.
That would have been
Yes.
sick.
Yes.
That would have been sick. Oh, is
Now
that where
this is
Grogan
all
touching people?
yes, like it would have been insane. So with that um what they were thinking about with Disney Plus is they can start introducing them one by one instead of making a movie to redo it what everyone already knows from the Fox movie. So like Gambit was going to come out with a show. Storm was actually going to come out in Black Panther 2 as well as Neymar. I just remember hearing that one too. And after that, oh no, that's Spider Man, that's Thor. Oh, more Disney Plus news. Oh yeah, I'm all over the place. Don't worry. Next podcast, I will be more in order. Now it's just excitement. so, so live action Disney. Before we move on, what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea? I think so. It's better than making another movie, man. It's like what they did with Spider Man. There's no point doing the same thing over and over and over. Uncle Ben, the wrestling. Let's just bring him in. He had it. He said he had his powers for like 6 months and just kind of build from what everyone already knows. I think first of all, Foggy, I have to agree with like the people that all kiss his ass. Foggy's fucking brilliant. Like all the things that he does and just the way that he sets it up, it actually makes sense. Even if it's not exactly like the comic, he does just enough that you're like, okay, I'll take it.
Actually, I would love for them to do a lot of backstories, because I mean that's how you know how why that character acts the way he acts. I mean, it would be cool if they do backstories. Will be like
hmm
where Rogue, I'm sorry, where Gambit and Storm meet for the
Gambit.
first time. That she's a like I think she was a vampire. She was a kid, and she was in Europe, completely lost. And Gambit felt pity over her and helps her. So I mean, that'd be a great story between those two characters, and I would love them to explore that side that pretty much only those who've read the comic books would know about.
Oh shit! See, I didn't know that.
I mean, that would have been really awesome. She doesn't have to be an African queen or anything like that. She could be just this kid from Europe, this black kid from Europe that's a vampire, and she's a mutant on top of that. And Gambit's right there, helping her out.
Why would Storm be a vampire? Storm's not a vampire.
I think she got converted. I don't remember the story very well because it's been some years now. But she got attacked. She turns into a kid, and the person who attacked her converted to a vampire. Gambit comes in, helps her out, and he's able to cure her and turn her back to the Storm that we all know and love.
Maybe they can do that in the new Blade movie with I don't know his name, but his last name is Ali, the guy with the Academy Award.
Oh yeah, the guy with a messed up name.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one, son. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was the pianist. No, what was the movie that he was nominated for the Oscar?
He won for Moonlight.
Moonlight.
And then he won for Green Thumb or Green Book? Green Book, I think it is.
Green Book. Yeah, Green Book.
Yeah. Everyone tells me it's a good movie, but I just have yet to see it, man. Like, I just haven't seen it.
There's been so many racist movies already that you've seen them one, you've seen them all. You know what I mean? It's like, I go with my wife. We were looking for movies one of these days. By the way, for you guys to know, my wife is black. And we like, let's watch Fences, the one with
Denzel Washington.
And she's like, no, I mean, we've already seen those type of movies again. Let's watch something else. So, you know, she's like, you seen them once, you've seen them all.
What was I watching? Oh, I watched the new Netflix film, Coffee and Kareem. It is ridiculous. First of all, like it's such a ridiculous movie. Like I'm not saying it's great, but it makes you laugh, and it's funny because the cops, like, I'm not racist, black, and then the wife is like, why do the worst?
Yeah, I saw the trailers. I was thinking of watching it one of these days.
Check it out. It's pretty funny. I swear, it has some good parts. Okay. I'm all.
No, I was about to going off topic again. You know what movie I just saw? That blew me. It was much better than I expected. You're not gonna believe this. Power Rangers. The last movie that came out. I think it's on Netflix.
It's a. I used to rock Power Rangers when I was younger. I can't say that I didn't. The originals, which was the Red Ranger went porn star, the Green Ranger went MMA. Like, I remember all the stories about them. Man, I used to rock Power Rangers all the time. Like me and my friend Sean, I remember when the movie came out, we were like, "Yo, we're gonna go to Blockbuster. We're gonna wear our glasses and the trench coat. Just be like, all right, here, I'll take this movie. Oh, you want Power Rangers? Shh, just give it. It's like, just give it to me." Because we're in high school. And we're like, yo, I don't know if we should watch this. And we did the same thing with Digimon. Because when Pokemon was going crazy, I was like, I don't like Pokemon. Fuck them. They suck. So I went to Digimon. And when the movie came out, we're like, oh, Digimon 1, please. Like in the theater, like, one? Shh, just one. We're like, just give it to me. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, hold on. Where are we? Live Disney, Keanu Reeves, Captain Marvel 2, Wolverine. Who's playing Wolverine? Ah, yes. So, how about Vin Diesel's movie Sucks So Bad, the one that's out now? Bloodshot, Bloodline, Blood something.
Bloodshot. Yeah, it was Bloodshot. I watched it. I can't say I loved the movie, but I didn't hate it either. I mean, those 2 hours that I was able to watch it, you know, I was like, but I still enjoyed the movie. You know what I mean?
It's not like no. I can't agree with you on this one, buddy. I
was able to watch it.
Sometimes you just watch the trailer and you're just like, yeah, no. Like, this isn't going to fly, man. I will give you this. The one movie that has the worst title for me, but is a great movie, and it was one of the reasons why I didn't want to watch it, was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I was like, really?
Oh, that's a great movie.
Again, the movie was great. I love the movie, but when I saw that title, I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not watching this." I'm like, I am not watching this movie because usually it's like the man who knew too little, the man who went on the train, and blah. You're just like, "Yeah, no, these aren't gonna fly." And then you watch it, like, "Yeah, no, these suck." That was like the one movie that I thought the title was horrible, but the movie was great. So yeah, when I was watching that Bloodshot, I was like, "This is not gonna work." But what he's doing is he's going out on the press tours for that movie, but he's talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So supposedly, these again, don't listen to his podcast, right? Like these are all just rumors, baby. For Thor, Love and Thunder, or yeah, Love and Thunder, right?
Uh huh.
So it's gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy. So because he left with them, so he's gonna be
Yeah.
with them. So we got Star Lord, we got Groot, we got Drax, we got how does Rocket say it? The chick with the antennas, Mantis,
Man.
Mantis, and what's the sister's name? I've watched the ending a million times and I keep forgetting. Nebula. So we got all
Yep.
them. Then we're gonna have what is
Gamora is
it?
dead, right?
No, remember she ran off. She's alive because they kept her alive, but she ran off. Then we're gonna have uh, what is it? Beta Ray Bill?
Who?
Is that his name? Beta Ray Bill. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. The horse Thor.
Oh, that guy.
Let me give you the real name so I say it correctly. Yeah, I did say it right, you punk. Beta Ray Bill. They're gonna bring him in, the horse face,
Uh huh.
and Silver Surfer and Noran Rad. You remember that guy? The big head with the little arms?
I remember him now.
Yes. They're going to have all of those guys in one movie. So,
But isn't that like too
first
much?
of all, I love that guy.
It just
Normal. Remember when you used to read one comic and it had like 7 characters coming in, even if it was just a quick in and out? Like, the worlds need to collide now.
no, that's true. But it's just I just feel like for a 2 hour movie, this is just too much. I mean, we would have to make like maybe two movies out of it, like they did with the Avengers.
Well, also remember, like these are just cameos, right? Like besides Guardians of the Galaxy, Silver Surfer could just be a cameo. He could even just be
Oh,
like you see him fly past and they're like, what the hell is that? Like it could be millions of possibilities. They don't need him to talk or to come in or do something huge, but they could just like introduce him and be like, look, this is why he's here. You know what I mean? Because once he comes in, supposedly the big bad that they want is Galactus. So he should still be the herald of Galactus. He shouldn't be good yet. So they could
yeah,
see him just like fly onto a planet and then fly away. And they're like, hey, what was that? I don't know. Just me speculating, right? Beta Ray Bill, he lives in, what's it called? What's the place called?
Asgard.
Asgard. Yes, he lives in Asgard.
Yeah, he does. Well,
And
he used to.
Nor,
Yeah, Asgard's no more.
so he's in New Asgard. In Norway or whatever. And then, or or he could have been out doing something for supposedly Loki when he was the king, trying to get everyone away. That when they're out on their travels, they could meet up with him and be like, "Yo, like, what's going on? I went to Asgard, it's gone," and like explain what happened, maybe, and just kind of have him in there. Noran Rad should be the bad guy if they're going to put him in there, because he
Yes,
teams up with. I've seen pictures in comics where he teams up with Doom, and Doom is supposedly their new bad too.
yeah.
And so yeah, it does kind of feel like a lot of people, but after Endgame, for me, I'm just like, I want to see more, man. I want to see them all. Like, I want worlds to collide. I want Spider-Man to go to Reed Richards and just say, hey, how do I do this? He's like, you do it like this. He's like, cool, thanks, and he's gone. And he never comes back into the movie. But you just start seeing them interact with each other, where heroes are starting to talk with heroes and villains are starting to talk with villains.
That'll be excellent. I would love to see that happening. Like in the comic books, like you know, it's like they don't have to go through. They meet the first time, they have to fight, then they make up, and then they become friends, and they like the typical comic book phases. Meet for the first time, hate each other, we fight, we make up, hugs and kisses, and then we meet the bad guy. But it's cool. Like they should start adding other Marvel superheroes that have been under the loop, like maybe
under the radar.
Yeah, like maybe some more C or D characters that Marvel has, and just starts recycling them.
As long as they don't come out with Squirrel Girl, I'm okay.
Hey, remember, I mean, whatever doesn't work, they just boom, he's dead, boom, he's dead, and just keep on moving forward.
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's very true. Very true. Oh yeah. Look at this. I'm just segueing. I can't speak. Every time I can't speak, we should take a drink. So now we're gonna segue into the next thing, which I was saying. How about Spider-Man 3? I heard it's gonna be called Homebound, because now that he's running away from the law, you could say, because of how they ended the last one. I heard a couple things. One, I heard there's going to be a lawyer in the movie. The lawyer could be from Hell's Kitchen, with the original actor who played him in the Netflix series.
Or it could be She-Hulk.
No, She-Hulk's got her own show. I actually have her on my list. But yeah, no. Daredevil and Spider-Man, son. Daredevil and Spider-Man.
Oh, that'll be fat. That'll be sick. That would be sick.
And the bad guys will be Kraven the Hunter and Scorpion. Yes.
But how you think they're gonna make the suit for Scorpion? It's gonna be like like with robotics,
No, I don't think they're gonna screw it up like they did the Rhino. I don't think they're gonna do anything stupid like that. I think he's gonna. Well, remember, supposedly Jay Jonah made him, right? So I think. Well, he's in prison. They kind of changed that story, so he could go for some like science trial since he's a prisoner, where they're like, who cares about him? You know what I mean? And then that's what happens. But the only thing that's robotic is the tail. After that, his size and everything is from the mutation.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Scorpion would be really cool to see, though, because man. They did the best for me. They did the best thing with Spider-Man, because they didn't reboot him with the whole Uncle Ben and everything. They got Aunt May to come in all cool, and then the enemies that they're bringing in are the other additions of the Sinister Six. Now we got Vulture. Now we got Mysterio. Mysterio died, but also I don't know. Maybe he does some movie stuff like he's supposed to. You know what I mean? Then we got Kraven. Then we'll have Scorpion. We're missing only like Doc Octopus, man. That's it.
But you know what I'm thinking? I'm seriously thinking of the Sinister Six, because how many movies now has the Vulture that cameo for? Because I'm watching the Mobius trailer, and when you see Mobius walking out of the I think it was an alley or something like that. The Vulture's right there. What's the actor's name again? Michael Keaton. So I mean, there has to be some Sinister Six coming up.
They've been trying for like last 10 years since they started the Spectacular Spider-Man with the worst Spider-Man of them all, Andrew Garfield. Okay, Tobey Maguire looked like a 40-year-old in high school, which wasn't good. But that Peter Parker was just too cool for school. So that's why I don't like him. Peter Parker's not supposed to be a cool skater kid. Like, no, doesn't work.
Know.
It doesn't work. So ever since him, remember at the very end, they're like, "Oh, we got them all ready." They were just gonna throw them in there. I'm glad they didn't. Like for real, I'm glad that they didn't. Because remember at the end of the first one, when when the Osborn kid is finally arrested, and he's like, "Oh, we still have those other suits," and it shows the wings and it shows the tail, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, no, I didn't like that. They were just gonna shove them into a movie and be like, "Okay, they're all here. This is what we're gonna do." It's like, oh god, they would have messed that up bad. So
Oh,
well,
hell yeah.
my brother is the biggest, biggest Spider-Man fan. He hasn't been happy since Tom Holland took over, so it was good. When he like talks in my ear and he tells me all the good stuff about Spider-Man, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. So Tom Holland for me, and just like how Kevin Smith said it, the fact that he put a Queen's accent on it, he's perfect. It's fucking perfect.
That's true. That is so true.
And the last news that I got, so then we don't just talk news all day, and it gives me a chance to talk about other things. Because at least I say we should at least do this weekly, if we can. We
Yeah,
should try to
once a
do it
week.
weekly, because then we have a chance to see what movies we watched, what are coming out new on Netflix, and everything like that. And I have time to research. I get to research what other people research to do the work for me, so we can talk about it later. And the last one, which is why I think that it's a good way to bring in Wolverine as well, is have you heard any rumors about Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Disney Pluses?
No, just what they filmed in the trailers. I haven't looked anything up.
Which is nothing. The only thing you see in the trailer is he throws a shield. You see, what's his name? Zebo comes back.
Uh-huh.
Which
That's it.
he better put on the fucking mask, man. If he puts on that purple mask, I will explode. I will explode, man. That would be the best thing ever. No matter how gay he looks, it would be fucking cool. All right. so I've seen pictures of the new bad guy, which is Omega Red. Somebody
Oh.
no one ever thinks about, man. He's one of the hardest villains ever, man. For me, he's a beast. He's a
He's
beast.
he's an animal, man. He's great. Hand to hand combat. He has the tentacles. I think they're adamantium, right? Those his tentacles or
Yeah,
those.
yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure they are because when Wolverine hacks at them, they don't chop off.
And he's ruthless. On top of that, he's
He's
the
stalling. He's stalling. He's a
he,
communist.
he's a version Captain America, just bigger, badder, and ruthless.
He's
Pretty much.
stalling, guy. He'll tell his people to charge, and when they start coming back, he'll shoot at the enemies and his own people, and be like, "You guys are bitches for coming back." So Omega Red, and they just introduced, and exactly this is so funny how you said that. Evil Captain America, the U.S. agent John Walker. I never really read into him, but this is the thing too. The movies made me care about Captain America because I never cared about Captain America. I'm from Canada. We're Alpha Flight, baby. Wolverine, Puck, Sasquatch. I should know all these guys' names, but at least I know those ones. oh, the guy, what was his name? It wasn't Alpha Flight. It was, oh no, I'm missing the two names, the two main characters. But either way, so I never liked Captain America until Chris Evans took him over. Like I never cared. He was like one of the worst comic book characters for me. I was like, he's too goody goody. He's too, you know what I mean? He's too proper.
That's what first he was like he's your typical tall, blue eyes, blonde American Boy Scout. Like
Yeah.
everything's for my country. My country comes first. I mean, honestly, I never liked him either. Because hey, back in the states, and you're being a Latino kid back, in the '80s and '90s, you're a little bit shunned away from the rest of the kids. And the one who I've the my favorite superhero was Spider Man. I love Spider Man. Spider Man is he's the superhero for me.
Yeah,
And Captain
everyone does.
And Captain America was just like he was part of the Avengers, and that's it. You know,
That's it.
that's it. You know, he was just part of the Avengers.
That's exactly how I feel, man. But that is it for the news, son. That's all I got, at least for the 2 days we were preparing for our first one. So now, in this time of quarantine, we came up with the 10, well, our top 10 movies that, if you have not seen them, check them out, see what's going on, see if you enjoy them or not. I say, I don't know, we can go one by one. We can both give our quick thoughts on it and then move on to the next one. So we don't have to criticize it. We can just give a quick like, hey, that was good, or this is what I didn't like, or blah blah. Sound good?
Sure, I'm in.
All right. All right, let's do this. So I'll go first then. So then you finish it off.
All right.
No homo. All right. Number 10, I put John Wick 3 just because it was, for me,
What?
a good shoot 'em up action movie. It was just a good shoot 'em up. There was really no story involved. There wasn't they didn't even really need to act in it either. It was just okay. Hey, didn't you say he was in between Constantine and John Wick? Well, now I'm going to John Wick, son. It was just give me a shitload of guns and I'm gonna kill an army for you. It was like, okay, I'll watch that for 2 hours.
You know what the worst part is? Is like I'm watching the movie, I'm enjoying it. I love all the shooting and this and that. Like, okay, you went all through this shit for forgiveness. I'll give you the chance to forgive your for forgiveness, right? He has his chance. He blows it up because he goes with his friend, and his friend at the end freaking backstabs him. So pretty much the movie ends how it started. Wanted by the assassins, betrayed by his friend again, and he's going with the looking for backup from the homeless guys. Number 4 in the
John Wick 4
Matrix.
coming in 2020. In 2020. Hence number 4 in 2020. But that's my number 10. That's a. Hmm?
Plus the Matrix, because you know that Fishborn is going to be in the Matrix again. It was a new
Yeah.
It's a revamp or
It's a reboot.
whatever.
It's a reboot. Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
my number 10 is Spider-Man: Far Away from Home.
I can fill my whole list with MCU. That's my problem. So I agree with your number 10. I love the movie. But how long did it take you to watch it, you punk? I was telling you about that thing for like a year and a half. It came out in 2019. You didn't watch it till 2020. Like, come on, man. I was telling you from time. I'm like, it's great. Even with Mysterio, even the people that knew Mysterio was bad, and you're like, don't do it, Spidey, don't do it. And he does it. And I looked at my wife, I'm like, he's so stupid. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, he's bad. She's like, no, he's not. I'm like, yes, he is. He's horrible. The thing I loved about that movie is I fluked out because I watched Civil War, I watched Iron Man 3, I watched a bunch of like Iron Mans before I watched that movie. And the fact that all of those movies come together to fight Peter Parker, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Barf.
You know what really blew me, like what made this movie for me? Like oh my god, this movie is awesome. It's the extra scenes after the credits where he's
First of all,
going up.
what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Those last two scenes make you forget about the movie that you just watched. You're like, holy shit, they just made a brand new movie with like 4 minutes.
It completely does. And so I mean that's why I added that movie to my list, because of those 4 minutes of the movie.
I actually have that in my honorable mentions. This is what I have for my honorable mentions. Zombieland 2, another movie that you just watch brain dead. Don't worry about the story. Don't worry about anything. Just watch him kill some zombies for the hell of it. And some good jokes. Dolomite, which was Eddie Murphy's return. I love that movie. It's not something I would give everyone to watch because I tried to show it to Mitzi. Yeah, that didn't work. The Addams Family and Angry Birds 2 for cartoons for your kids. Love both of
I
those
have
movies.
those on my
They're
list
great.
too.
I love them.
They
These are just
were.
honorable mentions. Don't worry, we'll go to nine. We'll go to nine. Jumanji, again, just a family movie. I like Kevin Hart. I like even like if he does something bad, I'm like, it's not bad. And then the movie that, oh yeah, I will say this now, and I'm gonna say it on camera, and I'm gonna say it live. I cry at everything. I don't even care anymore. Screw this macho man bullshit. I cry my eyes out at certain movies. And A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, that just hits you because I used to watch that guy when I was young, man. Mr. Rogers. I used
Mr.
to watch him
Rogers.
all the time. And how they made the movie was good because it wasn't so much about Mr. Rogers, but he was just in. It was he was a part of the movie, but it wasn't about him. That's what I liked about it. So those
I
are just
haven't
honorable
watched
mentions.
that. I
It's
I gotta check it
good.
out.
Check it out, man. It's good. It's good. Okay, number nine for me was the movie that I told you that I started it, didn't like it because I didn't think it was for kids, but then at the end absolutely loved it. Was Claws. I've watched this like 5 times now, man. The Netflix one,
That's my number
the one
three
that
on my list.
the one that I lost money on because of stupid Toy Story 4. Yes, that one. So what's
That-
your,
That's, that's on my list also, but I have a and then the
well, don't
final three.
spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't tell me where it is yet. Just tell me what you think about it because it's my number nine.
I enjoyed that movie. I also started watching it without that much expectations, but when I finished, I'm like, the movie was great. I loved it.
Right? Right? All
Uh,
right. Your number nine
oh,
is?
Bohemian Rhapsody. I like that movie.
I did too for another musical documentary. I liked it a lot, man. I actually have a friend who just got the Freddie Mercury mustache.
What I liked the most about the movie in itself was that it explains how they make the songs, what was behind the story
Yes.
as a band. It wasn't like singling out any band member. It's like it was the band itself and the music they created and the impact that had on the industry. And that's what I really liked about the movie.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that. It was really good. I think the guy did deserve the Oscar for sure. Like he balled out in that movie, man. And the good thing is they didn't just focus on his personal life. It's not like, okay, what we're gonna focus on is the Freddie Mercury personal life of him having all the orgies and all this. It's like it doesn't matter what the personal life was. Let's get that out of the way because on the internet, it's all shaming if you don't clear up and say, look, this is not what I mean. But it was good to see that it was about the music. It was about the group. It was
Yeah,
about them coming together, breaking up. How did they meet? Why did they break up? Which was the personal life getting into the music and stuff like that. That's what I really liked about the movie. All
yeah.
right, my number eight. I don't even know if you've seen this one. Ready or Not.
I haven't seen that one.
It's okay. For someone that hasn't seen it, it's all right. It's another one of those movies that you just, if you don't know anything about it, I think you'll enjoy it more. So if I give you the actual plot and how everything is, you're gonna be like, yo, this movie sounds redonkulous. But if you just watch it, it's not that bad. It's a whole new idea. It's actually an original idea, I'll give you that. Because it's about this super wealthy family that what they do to keep their wealth is like a type of a sacrifice, but the type of sacrifice is like unknowing to the person who's being sacrificed, and it's in the form of a game because that's what their family got rich for. So they got rich for making like hide and seek games and not Monopoly, but games like that, Monopoly, this and that, blah blah blah. So, oh yeah, you gotta hide the body, bring it back.
Yeah,
so, it's a no, not a horror comedy because it's not much horror, but it's a suspense comedy, I would say. It's actually pretty good. You again, since we are giving ourselves advice, if we need to see the movies that we're saying, so then we can talk about it later. Check it out, man. I'll send you
I
the
will.
link.
I'm watching the trailer right now.
I'm so sure. So there you go. So that's the trailer. What's your number eight?
I went anime. This is Dragon Ball, the reboot of Broadly. I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will watch it now because you said it. But after the first one, when Vegeta turned into a little bitch and I lost all respect for him, man, Broly's just it
Broly's
disappointed me. My favorite character because my boy Foley was Vegeta. After I saw Vegeta turn into a bitch, it was Goten. I went straight to Goten. I was like, fuck that guy.
No, I mean, I liked it a lot. It's just like it's like the original version that we saw
Mhm.
when we were kids, but it's more the fights are more intense. It's more like duke 'em out, and I really enjoyed the movie. I had fun watching it. It was like me being
It,
12 years old again.
it only takes 15 minutes instead of 30 minutes to charge up now.
Yeah.
I still remember that because my boy Foley, he's the one who got me into Dragon Ball. And fucking, he was like, "Yo, you gotta watch Frieza." I was like, "Why are they charging up for like 10 episodes?" He's like, "Don't worry though, on the 12th, it's crazy." Okay, where am I? I'm in seven, right? Good
Yep.
Boys, the movie with Seth Rogen and the kids. Have you seen that one? It's like three friends that like go on this. Obviously, it's just a comedy with three kids where they're trying to fix their what the hell is it called? Man, the drone. They steal their dad's drone and they gotta fix it. But it's just ridiculous. The stuff that they do, like one of the kids, like, "Hey, look, I got my mom's back massager. They're anal beads." He's like rubbing them on his neck.
What's
It's
the name of
actually
the movie?
Good Boys. It's with the little kid from Predators, the new one. The new Predator that
Uh-huh.
came out is with that little kid and two other ones. Oh man, it is funny. Like I've seen it a couple times, and it's just a good laugh. It's
Oh,
rated R. Yeah, that one. Now I saw your face. That one.
this movie is already out. I haven't. I've been dying to
Yeah,
watch it.
it's already on our site, so don't worry, it's there. It's amazing. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I put it on for number seven. What you got for seven?
Six Under Underground.
Six.
The Netflix.
Oh, the Deadpool, the Ryan Reynolds.
Yep, that one.
Thoughts? I'll tell you
I like
mine. Yours?
the sarcasm about it. I like the action scenes were incredible. The story kept me like I want to know what happens, what's gonna happen, and I'm hoping there's a sequel so I can continue with the story because it's something I really liked. I enjoyed the movie a lot when I was watching it.
I knew it. I was gonna give you the. You remember when I told you to watch Fanboys? I'm gonna give you the fanboy line. The second I watched it, I knew it was Michael Bay. It's all action and like the plot's like, okay, we're gonna forget about the plot for a while. We're just gonna do some cool action stuff every once in a while. Like it's filmed just like Transformers, but with people.
I mean, it's a fun movie to watch. I mean, you
It
sit
is.
down.
It is.
It, the action scenes aren't. It's not like the movie. It's action, action, action. No, it stops. It develops some story, jumps into action, goes back to the story, and it goes back and forth, and that's what I like.
The wife coming in to say hi. Oh no, his has already passed like three times. Don't worry, we're fine. We're already recording, so. So pretty much. Oh, we're on our top 10. So where the hell was I? Hold on, I was confused
We're
for
number
a
6 now.
second. Ah, number
You
six.
got
now.
distracted.
I got distracted. Exactly. Got distracted. Number six. This is just me being a fanboy all the time. For me, this man could just do no wrong. He's made a movie about a guy turning into a walrus, which I still love, which is Tusks. I have to go with Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I don't know how many times I've already seen it, and I still crack up. Well, this is the thing. He made that movie for his fans. I am a die-hard Kevin Smith fan. I watch all the podcasts. I watch him on YouTube. I watch him all. When I told my friend, when the guy Foley I was telling you about, when I told him like, "Yo, what do you think of the name?" He's like, "Look at Kevin Smith over here." I'm like, "Pretty much." Like, I just love everything that he does, and the fact that his movie references every movie that he did in the '90s, I just died. For me, I just died. The whole movie from start to finish. I love every second of it. I don't know if a lot of people will get the humor. Maybe this isn't one that I'd recommend for everyone unless you've seen Dogma and Clerks and Chasing Amy and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and all of those. Unless you've seen those, there's a lot of jokes that will go over people's head. But even if you haven't seen them, you can still laugh. Like, it's still dick and fart jokes. For like, you don't have to think, and you just watch, and you're just like, these guys are idiots.
I mean, no, I completely agree with you on that one. I mean, I've been in, sorry, Silent Bob and joined Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Jay,
I love that movie. I love Dogma. I had fun
yeah.
watching that. And this movie was just like that, just remember when high school kids, we used to smoke weed and go out with our friends and do all stuff of crazy dumb shit, when we were hanging out.
Oh yeah. The best part is how he makes fun of himself now in that movie because he never did that before. Now he does, which is what I really liked. All right, number
Okay,
6.
number 6 for me was Alita. Alita. I like that movie pretty much. Why I picked it, it's when they convert the from anime or manga to movies, especially when it's an American movie, they just destroyed it. They destroy a lot of movies that way. But with Alita, at least there are some changes, but the changes that they made aren't doesn't impact that much the story. That's what I liked about that movie so much. It's like, yeah, this happened, that doesn't happen. Well, this does happens differently, but it's still acceptable. And that's what I liked about it.
Nah, I'm going to shake my head at you on this one, man. this is where the odd couple kicks in. First of all, why? I remember the day I saw it, and you were like, "Yo, it's good. You should watch." I was like, "I don't know," and I watched it in 3 parts because we were at work. But I watched it in 3 parts, and in those 3 parts, why is nobody good enough to give her a challenge? No one. She literally gets chopped from here all the way down to here, but yet she still beats a guy with like 3 fingers. Why are they even fighting her? Like, why? Why would you even fight her? This makes no point. She's like, "Oh, I'm in a room with all the best bounty hunters in this known galaxy, and I'm gonna kick all their asses. Maybe somebody slaps me. Maybe."
Because the reason why she's such a badass, it's because she was trained. Have you seen Alter Carbon, the TV series?
Yes.
Okay, you know that he's what the guy's called the
Like the
what
sleeves. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh-huh. No, but the main protagonist, he's from
Uh huh.
this group of people. What were they called?
Oh,
Like
like Ravagers or something like that. The last Scion. No, is it Scion? I can't remember.
yeah.
I got a bunch of movies going through my head right now.
See, she's something like that. She's from like a special art martial arts school that was generated in Mars, and that she was like one of the top fighters of that group, and she was sent to Earth to make an assassination. Of course, it went wrong, but I mean, she is a beast. She's a badass. All these
even
mercenaries, all these mercs are nothing to her.
even Bruce Lee would get punched once or twice. Like, come on, come on. That's the only beef I have with that movie. It's the only beef. Why is everyone so weak? Like, I
Come
understand she could be
on.
great, But hey, even yo, Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. You're telling me one person can't fucking hit her? One, one person. Come on, man.
You have to get used to it. Every time there's a heroine that's the main protagonist, her mascara never gets undone. Her hair is always in tip-top conditions. They fight in high heels, and she doesn't even break a nail. Tell me
Look at
one movie. I think
uh,
the only movie that
Atomic
doesn't fit
Blonde. Atomic Blonde. There you go. She gets fucked up in that movie. Fucked up. What am I telling you? How about Tomb Raider? There's two movies for you. Where and again, I don't even like Tomb Raider that much, but she gets messed up in that movie too.
those are the only two you can think of. Give me more. Give me more movies.
Give me more. You just looked at me and like you literally just looked at me and said, "Oh, that was different." All right, all right, all right, all right. Alita, Alita, move on past Alita. We can go on forever. What are we
Okay,
on?
what's your number
Number what? What are we on?
five?
Oh shit, we're in the top five. All right. I actually saw this the other day. Onward, the Pixar movie with like they're like orcs and elves and all that stuff. So circling back to what I said, this movie for me is I don't want to spoil it because it is still kind of new. I know. Well, here in Costa Rica, we get the burnt version right away, so we probably will watch it before some others. But the thing what I really enjoyed is you get one movie because you get the trailer. So you look at the trailer, and you're like, oh fuck, like that looks really good. And even if they stayed with that movie, you're like, okay, this would be great. But then they like flip it on you and do something else, and I just like it was crazy. Again, I cried. I cried through this movie in certain parts because there's a lot of brotherly love, and it's about the younger brother looking up to the older brother, right? And I even watched the movie, and I wrote to my brother after the tears. I'm like, "You're a dick." I'm like, "But I love you." Like it just makes you think about your brother or something like that. Like Frozen made you think about sisters. This one's about brothers, and it was just
No,
for me it was
I,
amazing from start.
I
And
completely
it's Star Lord and Spider Man. Come on, come on.
no, I completely agree with you. I love the movie. I also saw it. It had me at tears at the end too. But what really hit me off is like I'm looking at the older brother like, dude, if it was this loud, that would be me. Plays Dungeons and Dragons, listens to heavy metal, still lives with mom and dad. You know, brother, he screw up. Like, dude, that's me. I'm just not that loud. I mean, I'm more of a quiet person, but that is me right there. So I was able to identify myself with that movie too much,
Yeah, yeah, for
way
sure,
too
man.
much.
I love that one for sure. All right, number five.
Pokemon Detective. I love that movie. I loved it.
Give me yours before I give you mine.
Okay, first of all, I really liked the effects that they did with the Pokemons. It was great seeing Pikachu and all the rest of those critters and with those effects. I like the story behind it. It was a different take on the move on like the Mewtwo movie and all that, which I truly enjoyed. And I mean, and I love the sarcasm of
Ryan
was it Burt
Reynolds.
Reynolds or
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan as Pikachu? The way he does the voice is fun. I loved it. I mean, for me, that's the movie in itself. Ray Reynolds as Pikachu. That's it.
See,
Stop counting.
let the comeback. The comeback. Remember, I was a pure Digimon guy. When I had to choose from one of the two, I chose Digimon over Pokemon. So for someone that doesn't like Pokemon like at all, like yeah, I can like say, oh, that Pokemon's cool, but that's it, right? For me not liking anything, it did just enough to make me not think of it as a Pokemon movie. So I could actually just watch the movie. You know what I mean? Without saying, oh, it's just catch 'em all, it's just this, it's going him traveling. Like they made it an actual movie. And obviously, Ryan Reynolds is, I'm a, what do they call it? I'm a fanboy with him anyway. So I love all the Proposal. I die in that movie, and it's a chick flick. I don't care. The things he does, I laugh at them. So the fact that he was Pikachu was hilarious. So I agree. I agree with you on that one. All right.
Okay.
Number four.
Number four.
I'm going to put 1917. I really enjoyed
That's a
this
good flick.
movie. It was, again, lost me a lot of money, but but what got me into this movie, because I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, it's all right, it's whatever. When I watched the making of, that's what got me into the movie. The making of that movie is ridiculous. Like how that one shot still where he has to run from one football field to like two more football fields on the other side, and if he trips and fall, they have to go back and do the whole run again. I was like, no way. I'm like, wow, that's a whole new way of directing. And then I saw it. I was like, wow, just visually and just like the story's great because well, the story is basically what you see is what you get. Two guys trying to send a message. Shit happens in the middle. Like there's no difference to like any other war movie, like Save Private Ryan. It's okay. We got to find Ryan. There's a bunch of stuff that happens. We find him. The end, right? But just the way that they visually did it, I was blown away. That's what got me with that movie. Surprisingly, I went into my director form instead of like a fan, and I was just like, wow, like I can't believe they did that much work to get this movie and how to get those shots. And when you see him run, God, that's a good like 20-minute run, man. Like, and if you trip and fall, it's okay. Wrap it up, go all the way back, and we're gonna run it again. Like, what the hell? You're crazy.
Take two.
Like, I enjoyed that move just because of that. That made me really appreciate the movie and moved it up my list because of that.
No, I agree. That's a great movie. I didn't make it to my list, but it was. I put it on my, you know,
Honorable
to honor.
mentions.
Yeah, and I think it was. It's a great movie. It's fun to watch. The story. I like the story. I love World War II movies, so I had fun watching it. It was a great flick.
World War One. It's one of
I'm
it's
sorry.
one. Yeah, it's one of the only ones really. There's a few World
Yeah,
War Ones, but they usually do two. All
yeah,
right,
the
your
most
number
common one is
four.
the two. My
Saving
number
Private
four.
Ryan, exactly. Hmm.
It's Ford versus Ferrari.
Go
I
on.
like. And the thing is like I see it like a documentary most of all. I love documentaries. I like that it tells a story exactly what was going behind the scenes regarding the movie. I didn't pay much attention to the acting and all that. Pretty much, I just went along with what was going on with the story, and that's what really kept me entertained until the movie finished. Like, oh, that's how it happened. That's what I liked about it most of all.
I know it's very. It's on one of those. What is it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's critically acclaimed. I get that, and yeah, they got Batman and they got Matt Damon and shit like that. It's just there was a few parts that got me that were cool. I guess it's just I was never a car guy. So to make a movie about cars and racing, I was just like, yeah, all right, I'll watch it, and it's good. It's entertaining. It's not a movie that I say, oh no, turn it off, like it's garbage. But it was, it's just one of those movies where like I popped it in because there was nothing. That's it. There was nothing, and you told me to watch it, and I was like, okay. And I watched it, and I was like, all right. At least it killed 2 hours of my time, which was good. But again, there's a lot of movies like that I feel like me and you can probably act like Casablanca. So it's a masterpiece. I've never seen it. I have it here. My cuñado gave it to me, and he's like, "Yo, watch it." I was like, "Okay." I've had it for like 2 years. It's just sitting there doing nothing, collecting dust. But all right. Number 3, The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie movie.
Really?
Like, I'm a fanboy, man. When I like how people do things, I'm hooked. When I saw Guy Ritchie finally do another movie, kind of like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, I jumped on this movie. And there's a lot of mottos that I actually took for my football team, which is
Uh
one
huh.
is he's talking about being like a gangster. He's talking about being a gangster, and he's like, never doubt, because doubt can lead to chaos and one's own demise. I was like, oh, that's so true. If you doubt yourself all the time, you're gonna do bad stuff. You're gonna screw up in a game. You're not gonna do something right. You're gonna double think every single time you throw the ball, or whenever you're gonna run, or whenever you're gonna hand it off, or oh, I'm not gonna trust the play. So like I started taking lines from that, and just the old school dry humor that they have, I just die. It kills me. Like I love that. I love those things about those movies.
I'll give it a shot because I saw the trailer. It didn't call my attention, to be quite honest with you. Even thought I liked Snatch in the other movie, but this one, it just, I don't know, it just didn't call my attention at all. But I'll
It,
give it a shot and see how it,
mhm. It's
you know.
pretty good, man. I liked it. There's some good jokes. The guy Hugh Grant actually plays a character who's not Hugh Grant. Imagine that. He's actually somebody else in the movie. Like you watch it, and he's another person. Like he's not like all fumbly. Nah, man, he's completely different. It's like one of the first times he's actually acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't know it was him till the first scene you see him in. It's all dark. I'm like, who's that? And you hear the voice. It was like Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder, where he's like a totally different character that you don't even recognize until later. You're just like, holy crap, that's fucking Tom Cruise. And I was like, yo, is that Hugh Grant? I was like, damn, completely different. I loved it. And McConaughey, he kills that movie, man. He kills it. And so does the guy from Sons of Anarchy. He's
Okay, yeah, yeah.
the blonde guy. Yeah, he murders that movie, man. He's so funny. I love it. So yeah, it's my number 3.
All right. My number 3 is Klaus.
Ah, yes. So we know about that one. Okay, so we both love that one. Just
Yeah.
different numbers. My number 2 is the one that I bugged you about for fucking months. Jojo Rabbit, man. It- they're trying to fuck our dogs. That's those lines are the greatest things ever. And when you see, because what's his name, Rockwell, Sam Rockwell is my favorite character in that whole movie, man. When he looks at Scarlett Johansson for the first time, she kicks him in the nuts and just slaps him. She's like, "You're gonna have my son here." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "No problem."
No, yeah.
That murders
Dude,
that
I
movie.
saw the movie under your recommendation. I loved it. I had fun watching it. I wasn't expecting the movie to be as it was. I mean, yeah, I understand why it's your number 2 completely.
For a movie about Nazis, how could you make it so heartfelt and
Yeah.
actually find the comedy out of a situation where an entire population is getting murdered? And he finds the humor in it. The Hi Hitler scene, Hi Hitler, Hi Hitler, Hi Hitler, Hi Hitler, Hi Hitler, Hi Hitler, Hi Hitler. Oh my God! It was like the Seinfeld when everyone's introducing themselves with just the first names, and they just do it like 20 times. I was like, oh my God, it was classic. It was classic. But remember, this is coming from the director that when I went to Thor Ragnarok, the guy beside me is on a date with some chick. Me and him were laughing so hard, it was like we were on the date and not the chick. Like that's how good this director is for me. Like it was hilarious. Because I went to go see it by myself. I went by myself after work to go see
Aha.
Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, I'm gonna go just because. 4 o'clock. Oh no, like 3:30 start is when I was working 6 to 2. 3 o'clock, 3:30 start. I get out by like 5, 6. And when I went into there, I was like, okay, I'm probably just gonna sit and chill and this and that. And then when me and the guy started laughing and like talking about everything, yo, I was dying that whole movie. And his date, I don't know how his date went because she was just sitting there bored, and me and him were dying. I didn't even get his name. We just fucking laughed, and we got out of the theater. We were like, yo, that was pretty good, man. Like that was it. All right, number two. Number two.
Endgame.
Uh huh.
Avengers Endgame. That's the number 2 for me. It's the story. It's a movie that I had to know what happened next, and I love the part where like you got you got one scene happening here, it stops. You got Thor doing something, stops. You got Captain America doing something else, stops. I understand that the movie starts a little bit slow with everyone going through the trauma of of the disappeared and all that. But I mean, it's a movie that I just I couldn't stop watching, and the fight scenes, and it's everything epic I expected from a Marvel movie since they started coming out. That's why it's my number 2.
All right, you got to give me what's your number one. What's your number one first?
Godzilla, the King of Monsters.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I've been a Godzilla fan since I was learning to walk. And I mean, I've always watching Godzilla movies. And
So
I
that's
think
like.
this is the.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Go. Finish. Sorry.
And this is like the first time I'm able to watch like a modern movie of Godzilla. And I feel like, yeah, this is the Godzilla that kicks ass and I love, man. So that's
All right.
why I have that one as my number 1.
All right. The only reason I say what's your number one because obviously my number one is Avengers Endgame. So I'll tell you about that right now. That's my number one. But I actually, you know what? I saw Godzilla for the first time on HBO like 2 weeks ago. I think Eleven sucks from Stranger Things. I think she's a useless character. Absolutely useless. Like, just why? It doesn't matter if you use her as leverage or what. Like, she's a useless character for me. To see just monsters against monsters was really good to see, without like trying to just shit on the movie, right? Because
Uh-huh.
this movie for me was like when they tried to make um, Predator 2. Do you remember the Alien Predator?
I remember.
Okay, this movie kind of reminds me like that because the movie is about the monsters and the people are just kind of getting in the way.
Pretty
They're
much.
just they're just kind of in the way. It's like guys, just get out of the way and let the monsters fight. Like that's what we're here for. So let us see it.
I mean, the movie has a lot of things you can criticize about it, but it's just seeing Godzilla duking it out with other monsters. It was just fantastic, and seeing it with the
you saw
effects
what the new
of
one is, right?
nowadays, huh?
Saw the new one, right? What the new one is?
Yeah, yeah,
Godzilla.
Godzilla King of Monsters. That's
No,
the new
no,
one.
no, no, no. The one that's coming out right now. The new one.
The versus King Kong. That one.
Yeah. We'll see how
I
that goes.
I saw the old version like a couple days ago. I still have the VCR tape of that movie where you can tell that our guys in costumes just fighting it out.
I'm so sure. I'm so sure. King of Monsters, that's not even on my radar, man. My friend likes it too, Big Dave, but I'm like, nah. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I wasn't really a Godzilla fan, but I thought it'd be different.
I mean, that's me being a 100% fanboy about a movie that I've always enjoyed. I mean, Godzilla's the only
Yeah.
thing you get to see Godzilla is in the movie. I mean, there was no TV series, no comic book, no books, no video games. The only time you get the chance to see him is it's on the the big on the big screen. That's
See,
it.
my number one for me is Endgame. Right now, that's like almost my number one for everything because I'm such a.
I didn't want.
You
I
remember?
didn't
Do
want.
you remember how I walked in? Do you remember how I walked into the office the next day? Do you remember? Like for just the 10 years of us just finally seeing our hopes and dreams come out on the big screen. You see, remember, the only way Infinity War was supposed to end was with the snap. You do it, and then you go through all. First of all, I walked in already too excited. So then you see Hawkeye's family leave. I was crying. Then you see all this stuff in the middle, and then I get excited and I started crying. Then you see Ant-Man come back, and I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. Start crying. Then then you see then you see all the stuff, and then when you hear him say, "Cap on your left," oh, I just want to faint. I just faint right there. Like I have the Blu-ray DVD. I can watch that end scene a million times every single day and just watch that end scene, and I still get excited every time they start coming out of the portals. I still get excited like it's my first time seeing it, and I get the goosebumps, and I start taking off the tears and shit. I'm like idiot. I watched it for the first time throughout the whole thing. Now that we're working from home, and I watched it once, and it still gets me, man. Like that's what cinema is for me. If you can never stop relating to that movie, that you get excited every single time. It's me and Predator, the very original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know the movie back and forth. I know the lines, but yet I still get excited every time he's about to kill somebody. I'm like, oh my god, here it comes. I'm like, here it comes, here it comes. And just for me, Endgame blew me away. It was almost like 300. I was not ready for that movie. When 300 came out, I was not ready for that movie. My brother goes, "You're not ready for this movie." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I'm a big movie buff." I was not. And that's how I feel about Endgame, man. It was just the ultimate of ultimates. The way I have no complaints of how they ended it and who left and who didn't. Just everything. Everything. That's me. That's my top 10.
No, no. Well, what can I say? It took me a while. Honestly, I didn't expect there was that so many movies. I had like I had to redo the list like maybe 5 times and moving things up and down. Like, oh, but I like this one a lot, but I like that one a lot. I mean, it took it. I had to sit down and think about this list like seriously before
Yeah.
I started saying it out loud.
I went on. I actually Googled like all movies that came out in 2019, and I was like, I like that one. I like that one. I'm like, no, 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 yes, no, no. I had a list. I just list off all the movies I liked, and then I just put them all together and just see what I could do with it.
Pretty much. That's what I did, and then I just started. Okay, I this one. Oh, but I like this one more, so I was scratching out, put this one, and then I saw another one. Like, and then I started to fight, debating with myself. Like, okay, but this one, but this the other one, and then it took me a while. I started last night, and I didn't finish like until today morning, this morning.
Right? Like, yeah, no. See, that's what I was doing with the news, letting other people do my work, do my work for me. The thing I am disappointed though is, and I know we argue about this all the time, is Star Wars should be on my list, and it's not, and it's disappointing. It's completely
No
disappointing.
comments. No comments. And
No
for those of you,
comments.
for those of you who do not understand, I'm a Star Wars fanboy. For me, that was almost like a religion. I after the Return of the Jedi, I continued with the books, the comic books, the video games. I invested a lot of time and money on this franchise, and these three movies do not exist for me. That's it. I don't.
I'm sorry, but you know what I actually watched this morning? It was on Space, The Phantom Menace. And I still stand by this, and I thought of this when I was young. The kid sucked. The acting in that movie really sucks. For everyone saying the original three are better, watch the kid again, people. Watch that kid. His lines seem forced. It's just when he's in the pod racer, I was like, you should have a little more. I understand, follow your feelings. You should have a little bit more facial expressions. You're like 12 years old and in a pod racer going, I don't know, minimum 100 miles per hour. You know what I mean? And like he's just like This is what he's doing. And he goes,
But see,
nah.
the
I
acting on those three, it's terrible. You're absolutely right. But I still forgive that because at least it goes with the story. That's why I'm able to forgive that acting because it's like
no.
they're telling the story of Anakin Skywalker.
the
Like
best the
okay,
best thing no. The best thing those movies have is the fighting. Because the fighting in Force Awakens and the other ones, those are horrible. They're like super. It looks like me and Gabriel doing WWF, where you're like, and you're making sure he doesn't get hurt. You're like, and you put him softly on the bed. That's exactly what it looks like. Because when you watch Darth Maul against Taken, Liam Neeson, like even Liam Neeson's going real fast, man. Like you see him like do, like they move real fast. And the Anakin Obi-Wan fight, those lightsabers are going crazy. Like that's what I do love about that. But no, I watched the acting again. I watched those movies. I was like, eee. I think what people need to say is just look. There'll be nothing better than Luke Skywalker saga, and let's just leave it at that. It's gonna go Luke Skywalker, and it's gonna go Mandalorians. That's how it should go. Like those are the two stories that are gonna kick ass.
I mean, honestly speaking, I was expecting them to go move beyond already the Skywalker saga because honestly, these last three movies should they could have done anything. I mean, Star Wars is such a huge franchise. They can
Mm.
go from back in the past to in the distant future, and to they can go anywhere they wanted. And it's not like they had to continue the Skywalker saga. I mean, for me, they could have just ended there. The Emperor dead, Darth Vader redeemed himself, and that's it. You know, everyone's happy, and then just come up with a brand new story. Not
Yeah.
just grab what's already there, and mess it up and make it terrible, and not and show zero appreciation to the fans that have been able to maintain this franchise until today.
Maybe for your case, they showed too much appreciation. Could you say that? Because I think that's what it is. Because it's just it's just like what's the word I'm looking for? When they just like feed the fans what they want. It's like
No,
that's what they do. Yeah, because like in the sense of like they're like, hey, look, we got Chewie. Hey, look, we got Lando back. Hey, look, we got this. Hey, look, we got all your guys. Like, you know what I mean? They're just trying to do that too much, and they didn't really want to focus on what the story should be.
I don't know. The thing is like really, I didn't see no. I think they're using those icon characters to bring us in. It's like it's our bait. We're baiting these guys, and it's like we don't care about you guys anymore, but we're gonna bait you to watch our movie because yeah, we're gonna have Chewie, we're gonna have Lando, we're gonna have the Millennium Falcon, we're gonna have all the things you love, but we fucked up your movie.
Very true.
That's how I think. It's
Very
like
true.
they baited us with things that we know we appreciate, and once you sit down and you're watching the movie, you're like, "What is this? This isn't a Star Wars movie."
I still enjoy it though. I still enjoy it. But this is a completely different podcast. Let's bring up Star Wars for another day. Because obviously, me and you can kill this and talk for hours. And then I'll actually, you know what I'll do? I will get my friend Big Dave, who actually thinks the same as you, and I'll get some points from him and see what's up. Because right now, what I'm gonna do, I'm sending this to everyone that I can. This podcast. This is number one, baby. This is don't listen to his podcast number one. We
Numero
hope to keep
uno.
going. Numero uno, el primero. And it really comes down to whether you guys want it or not. We're going to keep doing this because now in quarantine, it gives us something to do, man.
Pretty much, it's like we don't care. We're
No?
just gonna keep on talking our BS. I mean, if you guys want to jump along and either you agree with us, don't agree with us. I mean, we don't care. Just bring it on. I mean, we, we, we work in a sports book.
Yeah,
That's all I
right?
have to say.
Yes. Yeah, those calls, we're desensitized to those calls now.
So, I mean, you guys are welcome aboard, and I hope you had fun. And I hope to, next week you tune in and, hear us more to talk crap about movies.
Oh, hell's yeah. So then I say maybe for the next one we can what should we talk about then? Let's actually plan it now instead of trying to do
Let's
it behind the scenes like everyone does.
let's talk about the upcoming movies. What movie has you like you really dying to see that movie and you want
All
that movie to
right.
come out now?
Once the COVID's gone.
Yeah, like
All
what's the
right, let's
first movie
go.
you're gonna run from your house straight to the theater to go and watch?
Black Widow. That's gonna be mine. But we'll save those answers for next time. Yo, it was a blast talking to you for real. Like you're actually like the third face that I've seen outside of this house. It's like the third face I've seen, man. So hey, Brian, take fucking be safe and shit, and just keep doing all the precautions we need to do because so far I don't know anyone that has the virus.
No, you too, Coach. I mean, I hope
You?
you and your family keep on protecting you guys. You know, watch out. You know, be on top of your cleaning stuff and
Yeah,
be careful.
that's it, man. All right, Joe. Hey, take care, sir. I'll give you a call in a bit, so then we can see how the hell this thing works and how we can fucking upload it. All right.
You take care.
All right, man. You too, man. All right.
Peace.